Yesterday we started to derive the transmission loss formula, right? So we'll continue with this. So this transmission loss formula can be obtained easily by considering a system like this. Say for example, if you are considering a two generator is feeding to the load of ID, and suppose in case 1 if only one generator is turning on to this entire transmission line. So this entire box is nothing but transmission line, and then all the lines are converted into a single line, and the current through this line is IP1. So in this first case only generator 1 is turned on, and the current flowing through is nothing but the total current of ID, or we can call this as IP1 divided by ID, right? So this IP1 divided by IP is nothing but this MP1. And in second case, suppose for if you are getting this generator is off and the generator is on, then this is nothing but IP2, and this MP2 is nothing but IP2 divided by ID. And if I want to find out if both the generators are turned on, then this will be IP. This is IP1, IP2, and this is IP. So for this IP, if you add MP1 IG plus MP2 IG, then I will get the total IP. So in this assumption or in this setup, we are going to further get some formulation for the transmission loss. So with that setup, what the assumption I am making is, so the assumptions are, the first assumption is all IDs have same phase angle. So this is the first assumption I am taking with respect to different loads. Say for example, if at ith load or ith bus, the ID will be like this. So ID will be modulus of IDI, this is D, sorry, IDI with the angle del I minus pi I, and this will be taken as IDI angle of pi I or theta I. This is theta I, sorry, this is theta I. Here this del I is nothing but phase angle, of bus voltage, and then this phi I is nothing but lagging phase angle of load. Lagging phase angle of load, and then this theta I is nothing but, this is same for all those. So this is the assumption I am taking, means this is same phase angle for every IDs. So this is nothing but is the same for all load current. So this is the first assumption I am taking. And then second assumption is X by R ratio is same for all network branch. Okay, so here this lead to conclude that IP1 and ID have same phase angle, so IP2 and ID also have a same phase angle. Otherwise this current generated at generator 1 is equal to IG1 with the angle of del 1, and then this IG2 is nothing but IG2 with the angle of del 2. So this is the assumption, means I am assuming all the phase angles are same. So I will get this conclusion, and this delta 1 and delta 2 are phase angle of IG1 and IG2. respectively. And if I substitute, if I am taking this as the equation 2 and then this as equation 1, and if I substitute that, then I will get this total IP is nothing but MP1, because we know what I have concluded in the first slide. So if I am taking this as equation 1, and if I apply the Ig1 value and Ig2 value in this equation 1, and then this IP will be MP1 Ig1 with del 1 plus MP2 Ig2 with del 2. So this is the value I will get. And we all know that if I separate this cos and sine, so this is nothing but it is including cos as well as cos component as well as sine, means real and reactive, both are having. So if I separate this, then the IP will be, IP is equal to MP1 Ig1 with cos component of the delta 1 plus j sine delta 1. So this is for this, and if I write this for here plus j, I will take j separately, and then MP2, yes, let it be okay, let it be j inside only. So MP2 Ig2, next step I will do that, Ig2 cos del 2 plus j sine del 2. So I will get this. And if I separating this cos and sine separately, then this IP will come, so vector, so IP will come MP1 Ig1 cos theta 1 plus MP2 Ig2 cos delta 2 plus, now I will separate all the sine imaginary component, and then this is MP1 Ig1 sine del 1 plus MP2 Ig2 sine delta 2. So I will get this value, and we know that if IP is equal to A plus IB, then we can write IP magnitude. If I take the magnitude for this, then I will get modulus. If I take, I will get root of A square plus B square, or again if I put a square for this IP modulus square, then I will get A square plus B square. So like this I will get. So same like this, similarly if I make a modulus of this and making square, then I will get just a minute, I will add some pages. Similarly, if I make this IP modulus whole square, then this part will be maybe this will be, if you are considering this as A and this as B, then I will get A square plus B square value. So finally I will get like this, MP1 Ig1 cos del 1 plus MP2 Ig2 cos del 2 whole square plus B part is nothing but the imaginary will be removed, so the remaining left out is MP1 Ig1, sorry, this is modulus MP1 Ig1 sine del 1 plus MP2 Ig2 sine del 2 whole square. So this is in the form of A plus B whole square. So we know that A square plus B square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. So we can still split this equation in this form. So finally I will get ip square is equal to mp1 square and then ig1 whole square and then cos del 1 square plus sin square del 1 plus mp2 whole square ig1 the whole square and then cos del 2 square plus sin del 2 square plus 2ab, right? So 2ab is nothing but 2 into mpi ig1 and then mp2 ig2 and then cos del 1 cos del 2 plus sin del 1 sin del 2. So in this form we are converted, this equation is converted into this form. So again for simplification, please wait, some not responding is happened. Again for further simplify that, we know cos square del plus sin square del is nothing but 1. It's very simple. So cos square del plus sin square del is 1, and also cos a cos b plus sin a sin b is equal to cos a minus b. So by observing this two, the this equation still I can able to simplify wherever I am getting cos square del 1 plus sin square del 1, I will make this 1 and then this also 1 and then cos a cos a cos b and then sin a sin b will be cos a minus cos b, right? So if you are simplifying like this, and then resultant value will get, therefore ip square is equal to mp1 square and then ig1 square plus mp2 square ig2 square plus 2mp1 mp2 and then ig1 ig2 cos del 1 minus del 2. So this is the resultant value after observing these two consideration. And then generally for three-phase system, we know I current value can be found out by power divided by root 3, because this is the three-phase system. For three-phase system, P divided by root 3 V cos theta. So here cos theta is the power factor and V is the bus voltage, and then P is nothing but the real power. If that is the case, we know the value for I1 is equal to Pg1, power generated because of this generate 1 divided by root 3 and then V1 cos theta 1. So power factor of this generator 1, and then I2 is equal to Pg2 divided by square root of V2 and then cos theta 2. So we wherever we are getting this value in this equation, just we are going to apply this two formula, so that we will come up with the total IP square value. And then one more consideration, if RP is the RP, I will write in the next, if RP is the resistance value of the branch P, value of branch power, then the total transmission loss is given by PL is equal to summation of the all power generated 3 IP, because this 3 phase, IP square into RP. So this will be considered as some equations number. You can consider any number, because I am not following the equations number. If it is, for example, P, equation 1P, if it is equation 1P, then substitute the value of Pg1 or Ig1. So we got IP square value, where IP square is nothing but from this equation, IP square is there, and then in this equation itself I1, I2 values we need to substitute. After getting the updated IP value, we need to substitute this in this 1P equation. So the final value of this PL, our aim is to find out the formula for power loss only, right? So for power loss we need to find out what is the IP square value. So we derived the IP square value, and also we know wherever we are getting Ig1, Ig2, we need to substitute those values, and then after getting this IP value we need to put in the power transmission loss. So finally the power transmission loss is equal to summation of P3, and then rest of the value will be your IP square. So I will write that, that's nothing but MP1 square Ig1 whole square plus MP2 square plus Ig2 square plus 2 MP1 MP2 Ig1 Ig2 cos del 1 minus del 2, and then we need to do this RP. So from here to here there is nothing but IP square, and then we multiplied this RP, and also we multiplied with this 3 for all the powers generated in the entire system. So this is the summation of all the generated, not only for I1 and I2. So this is a total, okay. And then if you multiply inside this RP and then 3 inside, then the final value will be PL is equal to summation of P3 MP1 square Ig1 square RP. RP is nothing, I just taken this 3 and RP inside, plus summation of P3 MP2 whole square, and then Ig2 whole square, and then here also RP will come, plus already 1 2 is there, and outside 3, so 2 3s are 6, plus 6 into MP1 MP2 Ig1 Ig2, and then cos theta 1 minus theta 2 with multiplication of RP. So this is RP. So this is equation, let it be 5. Okay, now we need to substitute the Ig1 Ig2 value. If you are substituting in previous case or now, no problem. Anyway, we need to substitute this Ig value wherever it is applicable. So if you substitute that, then finally PL value is equal to P3 MP1 square. So Ig value, for this I am substituting this value as Pg1 square divided by 3 into V1 square cos pi 1 2 into RP. So the first is over, and second I am coming here, and also I am going to apply this. So multiplication, this is multiplication plus Pg2 square summation of 3 Pg2 square, sorry, so I need to take first this, right? So this is P 3 MP square, and Ig2 value is Pg2 divided by 3 V2 square cos pi 2 square. So this one is over, and also we need to multiply this with RP, and then plus P 6 MP1 MP2 into Pg1. Just I am applying G1 and G2 value here. Pg1 root of because here not square is there, so I need to write root also, root value also. If it is having the square, then no problem. Wait, it is still hanging. Okay, root 3 V1 cos pi 1 into Pg2 divided by root 3 V2 cos pi 2 and then cos L1 minus L2 into RP. So that's all. So this is the equation. Then if you simplify, I will cut this 3 and 3, and here also I will cut this and this, and if you substitute or simplify, after simplifying the total value I will get PL is equal to Pg1 square 1 divided by P1 square cos pi 1 whole square summation of P MP1 square RP plus Pg2 square 1 divided by V2 square cos pi square and then MP2 square RP plus 2 Pg1 Pg2 cos theta minus cos del 1 minus del 2 whole divided by V1 V2 cos pi 1 cos pi 2 summation of P MP1 MP2 RP. So this is the equation we come up. Suppose if I am replacing this value into B11 and this value into B12 or B22. So this is B22 and then this is B12. So if this is B11 with respect to 1 only and this is respect to only generator 2, but here it is respect to 1 and 2. So this will be act as B11 and this will be act as B22 because we are speaking something about L loss. So B matrix is nothing but the loss coefficient matrix. If this is the loss coefficient matrix, then B11 will be the B11 will be purely represent because of the generator 1 and this is because of generator 2, but here this is because of generator 1 as well as generator 2, so it will be B12. Then finally PL is equal to Bg1 square. I will put the same thing here and then the rest of the things will be B11 plus Pg2 square B22 plus 2 Pg1 Pg2 and this is nothing but B12. So this is the final equation for power transmission or power transmission losses. Any doubt up to this? Any doubt up to this? Please tell me. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. So in general, for the general case of n number of plants in the n number of plants, then transmission loss can be expressed as PL is equal to I is equal to 1 and this is n, and then J is equal to 1 to n, and then this is PGI Bij and this is PGJ. So this is the generalized equation for the transmission loss, and here this Bij is nothing but cos del I minus del j whole divided by Vi Vj, this is j, this is I and this is j, and then cos pi I cos pi j. So this is the Bii and also the summation of Mij and then Mpj and then Rp will come. So this is nothing but this Bij, this Bij value. Here we need to assume something before proceeding, or before if you are using this formula anywhere, we need to think that our initial assumption. What are the initial assumption? All the IDs maintain a constant ratio of IL, and then the voltage at all plants remain constant, and then Q by P ratio at each plant remains constant, and then del I at all buses are constant. So these are all the assumption initially I said. So those assumption you need to think while taking this equations or these steps into your problem. Okay, to understand this concept in detail, we will solve a small problem and then we will complete this topic. Only one problem I will solve. Okay, so this is problem number maybe 8 or 7, but for my notes it is 9th. So unsolved problem in class I will share in notes, you can go through it. Now let it be a problem number maybe 9. In my notes the problem number is 9. Write down the question please. This is connector. Respectively, this is 0.06 per unit, and then this is 0.015 plus j 0.06 per unit, and then Zc is 0.01 plus j 0.04 per unit, and then this is 0.01 plus say 0.04. so the diagram is given like this because we need to mention we need to find out the figure. So figure I will draw in second page, or I will try to draw here only. There are two buses, bus 1 and then bus 2, and there is a bus here and here, there is a bus here, and this is generator 1 and this is generator 2, and here it is I1 and here it is I2, and this is bus number 1, this is reference bus 0, and this is bus number 3, this is bus number 4, and then this is bus number 2, and there is a line between bus 1 and 0, and there is a line between 1 and 0, sorry 0 and 2, and this is 1 and 0, and there is a line between this 0 and 3, and there is a load at bus 4 and there is a load at bus 3. So there are two loads and there is a line between 2 and 4. There is a line between 2 and 4, and this is A, bus A, and current flowing through is IA, and this is bus B and current flowing through here is IB, and this is C and current flowing through is IC, and this is D and current flowing through is ID. So these are all the values. This is the diagram we need to think for this question. So let us understand the question. The system shown in the figure have two plants. Plant 1, maybe this is plant 1, and this is plant 2, connected to the bus 1 and 2 respectively. So it is connected to a bus 1 and 2 respectively. So bus 1 has plant 1, bus 2 has plant 2. Okay, there are two loads at a network of 4 branches. So there are totally 4 branches. In these 4 branches, 2 loads is connected at bus 3 and bus 4. The reference bus with a voltage of 1.0 and angle is 0. So here they have mentioned the voltage V0. So from question, V0 is given as 1 and then del 0 is given as 0. So these are all the two values they are given. With that, they have given all the current values, say IA, IB, IC they are given, and the impedance value of ZA, ZB, ZC, all the branch current and branch impedance is given in the question. So this is the question. So we need to find out. So the question continues, calculate the load loss formula coefficient load loss formula coefficient coefficients of the system in per unit and megawatt inverse. So both cases we need to find out per unit also and also megawatt inverse also. If base is given, base is 100 megawatt ampere. So the base is given here. From this base we need to convert per unit as well as megawatt hour. So both the cases we need to find out the loss formula coefficient. Loss formula coefficient is nothing but the values we derived in the last 4 to 5 slides. So this is the question. So if a question is given like this, so you need to first think about how to convert the values or how to find out the MA1, MB1, MC1, because first step we derived in these equations are what we have derived. First we need to find out these values. this MP1, MP2, this value is only first step we need to find out. So just a minute. So I will start with the solution. Solution. As all load current maintain a constant ratio, first assumption is all load are maintaining the constant ratio, right? So we know that load 1 current is ID. Why? Because from the figure I can see that the load current is nothing but ID. From this ID only this load is feeding, and also from this IC only this load is feeding, right? So if that is the case, then the load 1 current is ID, and then load 2 current is IC. Therefore total load current is nothing but total load current I is nothing but ID plus IC. If you find out this, we will find out the total current. And also at D, what is the value is MD. So MD is nothing but ID divided by IC plus ID. So ID is given in the question, that is nothing but 3.6 minus J 0.9 whole divided by 4.6. If I add this 2, I will get 4.6 minus J 1.5, and totally I will get 0.7826. This is my MD. And for MC, the value is MC is equal to IC divided by IC plus ID, because these two are connected. So I need to take this IC and ID total, then only I will get this I. So for MD is nothing but ID divided by the total current. So total current is nothing but this, and this is equal to 0.2174. If you calculate substituting this IC and ID values, you will get 0.2174. You can solve by yourself later, but understand how the system is going or how the problem is going. And then the current distribution factor. Okay, if first condition, if G1 is on and G2 is off, there are two conditions. I already said that if generator 1 is on, then MA1 will get 1 because maximum current is flowing. So per unit it will be 1 because the total current it will flow in MA1. And then MB1, because why I am mentioning 1, because I am considering only G1 is on. So both cases we need to do. Second case will be if G1 is off and then G2 is on. So for both condition we are going to find out the MA1, MA, MB, MC, MD values, and MB1 will equal to IB is equal to minus of IC. Why? Because if you see in the question, this MC and MB are equal and opposite. These both are equal and opposite. So I will take MB1 is equal to IB is equal to IC. So we already find out the IC value from the previous case. So I will just put a minus 0.2174, and then MC1 is equal to 0.2174 because I find out this value already, and then MD is also already find out, that is 0.7826 in the previous step. And in the second case, this MA2 will be 0 because if only generator 2 is on, then as per the diagram they are given, there is no any connection between this 1 and 2. So individually it will operate. So obviously this MA will be 0. So MA will be 0, and then MA2 will be 0, and then MB2 is equal to IB is equal to ID, and then ID value is nothing but ID divided by IC plus ID, because this is the total current, this is the ID current, and we already find out that value, that is nothing but 0.7826. So MB2 value is this, and then MC2 is equal to IC divided by IC plus ID. This is also we already find out, that is nothing but 0.2174. And then MD2 is also we already find out, the same thing will come here, so that is nothing but 0.7826. so we come up with this basic values, current distribution factors. According to the current distribution factor, we come up with M values. Then we need to find out the voltage at different buses. So this is the first step, and then next step is we need to find out bus voltage at plant 1. So bus voltage at plant 1, so that is nothing but V1 is equal to V0 plus IA ZA. This is nothing but the branch of A with the what reference voltage, because always we need to refer the diagram, because if you see voltage 1 is the combination of this and then IA, this branch. So this voltage here as well as the voltage on the branch, if you add these two, then I will get V1. So if that is the case, V1 is equal to 1, because we know it is given in the question. V0 is given in the question because reference voltage is nothing but 1 with angle of 0 plus IA. We find out what is the IA, and ZA is given in the question, so it is nothing but 2 minus J 0.5, and then ZA value is 0.015 plus J 0.06. so if you solve V1, I will get 1.066 angle of 6.05 per unit. So del 1 and V1 value we got here. Similarly, if you find out for V2 is nothing but V0 plus IB ZB, and then if you solve that, I will get, if you just put the substitution values, and you will get V2 value is equal to 1 plus 0.51 angle of 4.9 per unit. And then we need to find out the current phase angle in the plane of I is equal to IA and I2 is equal to, means we know that from the graph the current phase angle in plant or I1 is equal to is nothing but IA, and this I2 is nothing but IB plus IC, because this current 2 is flowing in two values, one in the IB and then one more in the IC. So if that is the case, we know the IA value is 2 minus J 0.5, and then del 1 is nothing but tan inverse of this I1. So I1, this will be 0.5, and then this minus divided by 2. So from this IA value I will get del 1 value. So del 1 value is this one, and if you substitute, and if you will get that this is nothing but minus 14 angle. So this is del 1 value. And also to find out the del 2 value, the del 2 value we will get from IB plus IC. IB plus IC is nothing but 2.6 minus J 0.6. So the tan inverse of this will come minus 0.6 divided by, and this 2.6, and then this is also minus 14 only. And to find out cos del 2 minus del 1 is equal to cos 0, and this is nothing but 1. So the power factor for plant 1, so finally the plant 1 power factor will be V1 is equal to, angle of V1 is equal to angle of V1 is equal to 6.05. Just a minute, student. I have an important call. Just a minute, please be line. சொல்லுங்க மேம், நான் கிளாஸில் இருக்கேன் மேம், கூப்பிட்றேன். Okay, so the angle of V1 is 6.0, and then we know I1 is equal to, angle of this I1 is equal to minus 14.0. So power factor for 1 is equal to cos of this 6.05 plus this 14, and then is equal to 0.9393. so this is the power factor for the plant 1, and then power factor for plant 2. Plant 2 power factor is nothing but angle of this V2 is nothing but 4.9, and then angle of this I2 is equal to minus 14. This we have derived just now, and then power factor for 2 is equal to cos 4.9 plus 14, because already minus is there, so minus into minus plus it will be there, and this is 0.946. we got the power factor from this plant 1 and then plant 2. Finally we need to find out the loss coefficients. So as per the question, we find out the power factor, then finally loss coefficient values we need to do. So the loss coefficients are B11. we need to solve B11, that is nothing but 1 divided by V1 square and then cos pi 1 square summation of P MP1 square and then RP. Here this summation will go for P, will go for A comma B comma all the branches, it will go C comma. So there are 4 branches. This summation we need to take for all these 4 branches value, and if that is the case, then this B11 will be MA1 square RA plus MB1, this is MB1 square RB plus MC1 square RC plus MD1 square RD. So because we know there are 4 branches, so this summation will go for 4 times, and all this value we derived just in the previous slides, and then the rest of the value will be V1 whole square cos pi 1 whole square. So if you substitute this, all this value we got from the previous value, and if you substitute this overall value, I will get 0.0224 per unit. So this is in per unit value. If you convert this per unit with the base value to get the actual value, so I will get 2.224 in megawatt inverse. So this is per unit. The base is given 200. From the question we can get this is the 200, base is 200, and if you convert that, and I will get B11 value in per unit as well as the actual value. Similarly, we know the formula for B22. B22 is nothing but 1 divided by V2 square and then cos pi 2 the whole square and then P MP2 square and then RP is equal to, so substitute all the value here also the A just a minute please. Sorry for this. Here also A, we need to find out this P for A, B, C and D. So everywhere we need to find out this summation. So I will get B22 is equal to MA2 whole square and then RA plus MB2 whole square RB plus MC2 square RC plus md2 square RB whole divided by this V2 whole square cos phi 2 whole square. So if we substitute this all the value, we find out we get V22 is equal to 0.1597 0.01597 in per unit, and then if you convert with base of 200, and I will get B22 is equal to 0.1597 in megawatt inverse. So this is how we need to find out the coordinates. So as per the question, we find out the coordinates of losses. So we have find out the loss formula coefficients in per unit as well as megawatt inverse with the base of base value is 100. Here base value is 100, sorry for that, and here also base value is 100. So if you convert this value with the base, I will get the actual value. Any doubt up to this? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, so this is the last problem we are seeing for the module 3. So up to this we have covered. All the notes will be shared in online. I will share all the notes.